And we are live. Hello, everyone. Today, I wanted to come on here and give you the second part or part two of this mini series that I'm doing. And today, you read today's title is that we're going to talk about how survival mode can sometimes become your own personality without you even realizing. Okay. So I'm going to take a look at my notes here. But how is everyone doing? Let me know in the chat. How are you doing? How are you feeling? What are you up to? I want to know all the things. So, survival mode, it's something that can become so normal. It can feel sort of like just how you live your day to day, your everyday life, right? It becomes so normal. It starts to feel so normal because you have practiced it for so long, for so many years that now you think that maybe it's just your personality, right? So you might think that you feel stressed, but you don't feel like it's stress. Like you know that it's stress, but you're like, oh, it's just who I am, and sometimes, when you are stuck in a pattern for a very long time, you cannot unsee it. You cannot, you would have to be out of the picture to see what's going on in your picture, in your life. Does this make sense? So, for example, when let's just say that you have a relative, right? And they're telling you all of the things that they're going through, the challenges, and because you are not inside with them in their situation, it's so much easier for you to tell them and for you to say, hey, well, there's a solution, right? Like if you did this, this, and this, because you're outside of it, you're not living their experience. But it's a little bit different when you are in your life, you're living your experience, yet you have these survival patterns, but you're calling them your personality. Okay. And think about this because the word personality it just simply means your personal reality. Okay. Your personality, it's just your personal reality. What is your personal reality of your everyday life? What is it like? What do you consider something that is just who you are? What do you call, oh, that's just who I am? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you're watching the replay or if you're listening to this. Let me know in the comments, okay? And some examples of this can be, that you are known to be the one that's always the strong one, the one that is in your family that has to bring the peace, right? That has to keep or hold the peace. That maybe because you don't like confrontation, you have to keep everyone happy, right? Or perhaps you're the one that is always overthinking everything, right? Well, is it that a good idea? Maybe let me think about it. Like you're not certain. Okay. And perhaps you can say, well, this is who I am. This is who I've always been. Well, is it though? Is it really? Okay. Another example, which that I was guilty of, was staying busy all the time. Okay. I would call it I'm being productive. I would rather do this because it's productive rather than go and do something else because I would call it unproductive. Right. And a real life example was or is that, sometimes I had a lot of things on my calendar and they were productive, right? They would make me feel like accomplished until I took a step back and I said, wait, because I could say, I'm a hard worker. I have discipline. It's just who I am. I like to check things off my list until I took a step back and I realized, hold up, am I really doing all of these things out of joy or am I doing them out of survival? Am I actually living or am I just surviving? Right? And for you it might be different. Like some examples also are, like I mentioned earlier, taking care of everyone else. I know I was guilty of this. I always wanted to make sure that everyone was happy, right? All of the family members, the friends, like what worked the best for everyone, and I would always put myself last. And it wasn't because, like, well, that's just who I am. Like, it was because I kept saying, well, it's just who I am. I like to give, I like to make sure that other people are taken care of, right? And oftentimes I would always, like, oftentimes I would try to even cover it up as being a good person or as being not a religious person, because I'm not a religious person. I do believe in God. However, I do know that in the Bible it says, do unto others like you would like done unto yourself. But I would use it to the extreme where I was taking or doing unto others way more than I was doing it for myself, right? And so I didn't have any boundaries. And what's a boundary? A boundary is something that you do that is equal for both parties, right? So it's going to be good for you and good for them. That's a boundary, right? But I just felt like I was the one that was responsible for everything. The one that was responsible for making sure that parents were happy, that siblings were happy, that friends were happy, that XYZ were everybody was happy. And it took a toll on me, right? Until I took a step back and I said, hold on, is this actually living or is this from surviving? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if this is resonating with you because, you know, a lot of us have experienced that. Let me just take a little sip of my water. A lot of us have experienced that. And let me tell you something. I see you, I hear you, and I feel you. I feel you. I was once there. I know what this is like. And, you think that you can be the independent one, right? You think that you are the one that is like hyper independent and you have to get things done. Otherwise, nothing gets done. And that was me. That was me. That was me. And this can sometimes, all of these personality traits, they can be masked as personality traits. They can be, just the way that you have been adapting to life, right? It can be a way that it's hiding. It's your survival patterns that are hiding underneath all of this. It's your personal reality. But the good thing is that you can change it. You can totally change it. Now, let me just ask you, think about all the things that I just talked to you about. Let me ask you, have you ever said, well, this is just who I am? Have you ever said that? Put it in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you can relate. Because guess what? Also, it's not just your mind. It's not just you thinking that maybe you're doing things right. It's also your body. Okay. If you grew up with, feeling pressure or like having to hold everything together, or like, for example, me, I am the oldest in my family. So I would carry a lot of this unassigned responsibility, if you can call it, right? And where I wasn't fully allowed to be emotional, right? Like I would show up to work and work is work. Like we're on work mode And it didn't matter how I felt that day. It didn't matter what I was going through that day. If someone asked me, "Well, how's your day going?" Oh, I would say, "Fine, everything's fine." Okay, sometimes, yes, everything was fine. But there are moments where, you know you're not allowed or you're not supposed to. It's like the code, right? You're not supposed to say and vent to your coworkers or to your or people around you that what is actually happening, right? And so it always felt like you had to perform, or I had to perform or to prove of my worthiness, right? It always felt like I have to complete this work. I have to complete like my tasks. I have to complete my chores. I have to do this and that to be a good daughter or to be a good sister, right? And it was just coming from that survival mode. And I wasn't realizing it. I didn't know that that was happening because I kept practicing. I kept practicing this over and over and over and over. And so it just felt real. It felt familiar, right? It felt like it was my personality. But in reality, it was just my personal reality at that moment, right? So think about, for example, the opposite, right, of an athlete or someone that gives performances. When they have, let's just say, they have a piano recital, right, or they have a piano rehearsal or concert or whatever. What do they need to do in order to become really good at this? Like become the greatest, like the perfect person that does this? Well, they need to practice it every single day, right? They need to practice it. They need to learn. They need to spend most of their time, most of their their life practicing this skill, doing this skill, so that when someone asks them, "What do you do?" they'll say, "Oh, I'm a piano player." Or I'm a pianist, right? Or I'm an athlete, or whatever the career may be. And so when think about this in now the opposite way, when you're all stressed and you think, "Well, I'm always so stressed out. I'm just so tired. I don't have time." You keep affirming these things, right? Instead of saying I'm a basketball player, you're saying I'm always tired. That's your career. You see this? And so someone that is coming from the outside of your situation will say, "Well, take a day off, relax." And what do you say? No, 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 no. I feel guilty. You feel guilt for relaxing. If you're a mom or if you're a daughter like me, right? Or a sister or whatever it is, a brother, a dad, whatever your position, your role in your life is, there's always that little guilt inside of you that says, I shouldn't be relaxing because you should be doing all of these things, right? And so it's almost like you can't sit still without feeling anxious, without like rushing everything, right? So think about how you how you eat, for example. Are you rushing your meals? Right? Think about if like you're driving and you're stressed out. Like I need to get to this place. Oh my god, I'm going to be running late. Think about how when you're spending time with your family, are you actually present in the moment? Or are you just thinking about the next thing already? Think about how Sunday night feels. Like, oh, here comes Monday tomorrow. Like, I gotta go to work and this, and that. Think about all of these things. Is it really your personality? Is it really you? Think about it. Or is it just something that you've been performing? Is it something that you've just been practicing and you're really good at it? And you're so good at it that now relaxing or doing nothing or, just silencing your phone or silencing like the background noise, it feels like not normal to you, right? Think about like when you pick your activities of productive versus something unproductive. Why is that other thing that is called unproductive? Why is it unproductive? Is it something that you love doing? Is it something that brings you joy? Is it something that makes you feel alive? Why are you calling it unproductive? Right? And a lot of people don't know. They don't know how to rest because they never learned that rest is safe. Okay? So think about this. Have you trained or have you told or have you practiced resting? Probably not. Probably not as much as you need to. Think about just the word rest, right? Or just the idea of resting. What does that bring into you? What do you automatically feel? Let me know in the chat. Do you sense some sort of resistance, perhaps? Some sort of guilt? Yeah, right? Because you're not used to it. You haven't taught your body to know that this is safe, right? And this is why people feel exhausted all the time, right? You hear a lot about like being mentally exhausted, you feel a lot about like internal pressure, and and some of these things they manifest in your body, right? You get like headaches, or like you see all your thoughts that are racing through your brain, you get like tight muscles, or you just never really know how to switch off. You don't know how to turn that switch. I'll like just say, you know what? We're done for today. Enough was enough. And let's just go ahead and rest. Right? Because survival mode has kept you on alertness, and it has felt safe. It has felt like you're normal. It has felt like it's who you are. But in reality, it's brought you so much exhaustion, right? And sometimes you don't even notice it. Sometimes you don't even notice it that you're carrying it for that long, right? And so sometimes when you think, okay, well, let me actually take a day off, right? When was the last time you took a day off? Let me know in the chat. When was the last time that you actually said, okay, you know what? I'm going to take a day off just because. Not because you wanted to travel, not because it was someone's birthday, not because it was a holiday, not because of some other excuse or reason other than the fact that you're like, okay, you know what? I need a day off for myself. When was the last time that you took this? Sometimes we don't want to do this because when life finally feels calm, you're like, something's off here, right? And so sometimes peace can feel a little bit strange. It's not familiar, right? And so then when you feel that peace is not familiar, it's foreign to you, then your mind starts searching for problems. Then your mind starts shaming you or guilting you, not because you want problems, but because your body is already expected to get them or to like find them, to expecting them. You see this? And so when chaos feels familiar to you, then peace becomes unfamiliar. Let that sit for a minute. If chaos feels familiar, then peace is going to feel foreign to you. Okay. Now I want you to think that I want you to understand that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay. So I don't want you to think, oh my God, well, what's wrong with me? Like, I need to stop doing this. I know what I need to do. Just try to ask yourself, what am I adapting to? Where did I learn all of this from? Right? What have I been practicing all of these years? What has become normal for me? Start becoming aware, right? Because this, your self understanding or your self understanding, will create that compassion for you. Okay? Because you cannot like say, "Oh my god, like I'm feeling all of this shame and all of this guilt, and now I need to go and find peace." No. You can't just be like, "Okay, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be like." You can't just use positive thinking. Okay? You can't pressure yourself into having or feeling peace, because then you're just criticizing yourself, right? You're saying, "Oh my god, like I'm guilty for not taking a day off or not having a moment to myself or not taking care of myself." More criticism is not the answer. Okay? You cannot bully yourself into inner peace. Okay? You cannot bully yourself into inner peace. Let that land. You don't need more information. You already know what you should be doing. You already know that you should probably rest. You should probably slow down a little bit. You already know that you need to take care better of yourself. You already know all of these things. But there's a difference between knowing and feeling safe enough to actually get to do the thing that you know that you need to do. Does that make sense? And so, this is one of the reasons why I even started creating the restoration experience, because a lot of people think that stress is just who they are, that it's part of life. They just say, "Oh, well, life is not easy. Oh, well, it's just life. Oh, well, it's just who I am," right? And you've been carrying all of this for a long time. And so, I want you to really think about this. I really want to bring that awareness to you, right? And I'm gonna continue to on this. I'm gonna like put it all together in the next part, in part 3, and I'm gonna tell you why even awareness is not enough. Okay, it is the first step, but it's not enough. So in the next part, I'm gonna tell you why so many people, they don't really understand where all of these patterns come from and where do they come from, right? And and I'm going to explain to you also like why people keep repeating them even though consciously they want peace, but they keep repeating the same chaotic thing, the same chaotic experience, the same chaotic pattern that's coming from the survival mode, right? And so I want to end it with just understanding that when you understand yourself, that right there is powerful. That is the first step. Understand where and how did you learn all of these things? Where did you get that from? Where did you pick it up? Okay. And so you'll know that learning how to stop living from survival mode is a completely different journey, because when you are living from survival mode, it's all about the rushness of it. It's all about the getting it done. It's all about like what you've been trained and taught, and some of those things could be useful. But we need to make sure that we're actually balancing it. There's boundaries. That yes, it'll be good for the other person, but it's also good for you. Okay? And so really understand this. Understanding yourself is very powerful. But learning how to stop living from this survival mode is a completely different journey. Okay, so I'm going to end it with that thought. Let me know in the chat, what did you take away from this? And I'll see you in the next part. Bye.